Next up, the Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel Penny from 1943 without mint mark in normal condition. This coin looks very different from other wheat pennies, and because of that, many people still search for it today and wonder if it has value. And the answer is yes, it does have value, even in normal circulated condition. The year 1943 was very special because the United States was involved in World War II. During this time, copper was needed for military equipment, so the government decided to change the metal used for pennies. Instead of copper, they used steel coated with zinc. This is why the 1943 penny looks silver or gray in color and feels different from regular wheat pennies. The 1943 steel penny without mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and millions of these coins were made. But even though the mintage was high, many coins were later damaged, lost, or destroyed because steel rusts easily, especially when the zinc coating wears off. This makes clean and normal condition examples more desirable today. The design of the coin stayed the same as earlier wheat pennies. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1943. On the back, you see two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic wheat design is loved by collectors all over the world. A normal condition 1943 steel penny means the coin has been circulated but still has clear details. You can read the date and letters easily, and the coin is not heavily rusted. Some light wear, small scratches, or slight color change is acceptable as long as the coin is not badly damaged or deeply corroded. In today's market, a 1943 steel wheat penny without mint mark in normal condition usually sells in the range of $20 to $50, depending on eye appeal, color, and overall condition. Coins that still have a bright steel look with minimal rust are more attractive to collectors and can sell toward the higher end of this range. Many people confuse the common steel penny with the extremely rare copper 1943 penny, which is worth thousands of dollars. But it is important to understand that the steel version is the correct and official coin for that year. Still, even though it is not worth thousands, it is far from worthless and remains a valuable collectible. This coin is popular with beginners and experienced collectors because it tells a powerful story about wartime America, metal shortages, and changes in coin production. It is also easy to recognize, which makes it a favorite for people searching through old collections or inherited coins. If you own a 1943 steel penny without mint mark, keep it in a dry place, avoid moisture, and do not clean it because cleaning can reduce its value. Natural original condition is always preferred by collectors. Even a normal condition example can hold steady value over time. The Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel Penny of 1943 remains a symbol of history, sacrifice, and change, and that is why collectors continue to seek it today. Its unique metal, wartime background, and solid market demand make it one of the most talked about wheat pennies even decades later. The Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny from the year 1950 without mint mark. This coin may look simple at first, but for collectors it carries history, rarity, and value, especially when found in normal damaged condition. Many people think damaged coins have no worth, but that is not always true, and this video will explain everything in clear and simple words. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birth anniversary of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular circulating coin to feature a real person on it. The designer was Victor David Brenner, whose initials can still be seen on many wheat pennies. The wheat penny design continued until 1958, and the 1950 issue is part of the later years of this famous series. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins from this mint do not carry any mint mark, which is why collectors call it no mint mark. This year had a fairly large production, but finding coins today in collectible condition is becoming harder with time. Many of these pennies were heavily used in daily transactions, and that is why damaged and worn examples are common today. When we talk about normal damaged condition, we usually mean coins that show clear signs of wear. These can include smooth areas on Lincoln face, weak details on the wheat ears, scratches, edge nicks, dark color, or uneven surfaces. Even with these issues, the coin is still identifiable and still collected by many people, especially beginners and budget collectors. The value of a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in normal damaged condition is usually modest but still higher than face value. In today's market, these coins often sell for about $1 to $3 depending on how heavy the damage is. If the coin has readable date, clear wheat design, and no major holes or bends, it can still reach the higher end of this range. Some damaged coins may show small errors like off-center strike, die cracks, or unusual metal texture. If such features are present, the value can increase beyond the normal range. Even collectors who focus on error coins sometimes look for damaged-looking pennies because some real mint errors appear similar to damage at first glance. Collectors also value these coins for historical reasons. The year 1950 was a post-war period in the United States, and wheat pennies were still widely used in everyday life. Many people alive today remember using these coins, which adds emotional value along with monetary value. Another reason people collect the 1950 wheat penny is to complete full date sets of the Lincoln Wheat series. Even a damaged coin can fill a missing spot in a collection album. For many collectors, completing the set matters more than perfect condition. Storage matters too. If you already have a 1950 wheat penny, keep it in a dry place, away from moisture. Even damaged coins can lose more value if corrosion spreads. Avoid cleaning the coin, because cleaning can reduce value further, and collectors prefer original surfaces even if they are worn. In summary, the Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1950 without mint mark is a classic collectible coin. In normal damaged condition, it is still worth more than face value and usually trades around $1 to $3 in today's market. While it may not make you rich, it's a great piece of history and a solid addition to any coin collection. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny from 1943 without mint mark in normal condition. This coin looks very different from other wheat pennies, and because of that, many people still search for it today and wonder if it has value. And the answer is yes, it does have value, even in normal circulated condition. The year 1943 was very special because the United States was involved in World War II. During this time, copper was needed for military equipment, so the government decided to change the metal used for pennies. Instead of copper, they used steel coated with zinc. This is why the 1943 penny looks silver or gray in color and feels different from regular wheat pennies. The 1943 steel penny without mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and millions of these coins were made. But even though the mintage was high, many coins were later damaged, lost, or destroyed because steel rusts easily, especially when the zinc coating wears off. This makes clean and normal condition examples more desirable today. The design of the coin stayed the same as earlier wheat pennies. On the front, you see Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1943. On the back, you see two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic wheat design is loved by collectors all over the world. A normal condition 1943 steel penny means the coin has been circulated but still has clear details. You can read the date and letters easily, and the coin is not heavily rusted. Some light wear, small scratches, or slight color change is acceptable as long as the coin is not badly damaged or deeply corroded. In today's market, a 1943 steel wheat penny without mint mark in normal condition usually sells in the range of $20 to $50, depending on eye appeal, color, and overall condition. Coins that still have a bright steel look with minimal rust are more attractive to collectors and can sell toward the higher end of this range. Many people confuse the common steel penny with the extremely rare copper 1943 penny, which is worth thousands of dollars, but it is important to understand that the steel version is the correct and official coin for that year. Still, even though it is not worth thousands, it is far from worthless and remains a valuable collectible. This coin is popular with beginners and experienced collectors because it tells a powerful story about wartime America, metal shortages, and changes in coin production. It is also easy to recognize, which makes it a favorite for people searching through old collections or inherited coins. If you own a 1943 steel penny without mint mark, keep it in a dry place, avoid moisture, and do not clean it because cleaning can reduce its value. Natural original condition is always preferred by collectors. Even a normal condition example can hold steady value over time. The Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny of 1943 remains a symbol of history, sacrifice, and change, and that is why collectors continue to seek it today. Its unique metal, wartime background, and solid market demand make it one of the most talked about wheat pennies even decades later. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1946 with no mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition, and why this simple-looking coin still attracts collectors today, even when it is not shiny or perfect. This penny was produced just 1 year after World War II ended, and it represents a major moment in United States history when the country was returning to peace, factories were changing back to normal production, and everyday people were starting new lives after years of hardship. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it has no mint mark, and millions of these coins were released into circulation where they were used daily for buying food, newspapers, and small items, which is exactly why many surviving examples today are found in dirty, worn, and darkened condition. This dirt and discoloration does not always mean the coin is worthless, because age, history, and demand play a very important role in value. The obverse of the coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and this design had already become iconic by 1946. Lincoln faces to the right with strong details in the hair, coat, and facial structure, although in circulated dirty condition, many of these details are softened from years of handling. The reverse shows 2 wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. The wheat design was used from 1909 to 1958, and today it is one of the most loved designs among coin collectors around the world. The 1946 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a solid feel and a warm tone when new, but over decades of circulation, copper reacts with air, moisture, and dirt, which is why many examples turn brown, dark, or even black. This normal, dirty condition is very common and accepted in the collecting community, especially for coins that are more than 70 years old. Mintage for the 1946 Philadelphia Lincoln wheat penny was high, with over 900 million coins produced, which means it is not rare in the traditional sense. However, demand for wheat pennies is always strong because collectors enjoy building complete date sets, and many beginners start with wheat cents because they are affordable, historical, and easy to recognize even in dirty condition. A 1946 wheat penny with no mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition usually falls into the good to very good range, where most major details are visible but worn. The date is clear and Lincoln outline is strong, but fine details are missing. In today's market, the value for this coin in dirty, circulated condition generally ranges from 50 cents up to $3, depending on eye appeal, level of wear, and overall condition. Coins that are heavily damaged, bent, or corroded may fall on the lower end, while coins with even wear and readable details can reach the higher end. Sometimes collectors pay a little more if the coin has natural toning rather than harsh damage. It is also important to mention that error coins exist for the 1946 wheat penny, such as off-center strikes, double die features, or clipped planchets, and these errors can greatly increase value even in circulated condition, sometimes reaching $50, $100, or more depending on the type and strength of the error. But a normal, non-error, dirty coin still holds collectible value because of its age and place in history. Many people find these coins in old jars, inherited collections, or pocket change from decades ago, and they often ask if dirt should be cleaned, but cleaning is not recommended because it can reduce value. Collectors prefer original surfaces, even if they are dark or dirty. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny reminds us of a turning point in American history, and even though it was made in huge numbers, it still carries historical charm for collectors young and old. If you have one in your collection, do not underestimate it, because even a common wheat penny has a story to tell and a small but real value in today's coin market. And for many collectors, owning a genuine piece of post-war America is worth more than just the dollar amount it represents. History in your hand and a connection to the past that will never be repeated. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny of 1943 without mint mark. This coin was made during World War II, when copper was needed for war supplies, so the United States decided to make pennies from zinc-coated steel instead of copper. This decision created one of the most unique-looking coins ever produced, and that is why collectors around the world still love and search for this penny today. The 1943 steel penny without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and millions of these coins were produced. But even with high mintage, finding one today in extra fine condition is not easy because steel coins rust easily, and many were damaged or destroyed over time. People did not like these coins when they were released because they looked similar to dimes and were often confused in daily use. Many were lost, thrown away, or corroded, which makes surviving examples more interesting for collectors today. The design of this coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front, with strong details in the hair, coat, and facial features. In extra fine condition, most of the fine lines in Lincoln's hair are still visible. The cheek and jaw show light wear, but remain sharp. The wheat ears on the back are bold and clear, with only slight flattening, and the words 1 cent and United States of America are strong and readable. The zinc coating still shows a silver-gray color, with only minor dullness in protected areas. Now let us talk about damaged condition, which is also very common for this coin. Damage can include rust spots, dark stains, peeling zinc coating, scratches, edge nicks, and corrosion. Because steel reacts with moisture, many 1943 pennies developed bubbling or rough surfaces. Even damaged examples are collected today because of the historical importance of the coin and because it represents a change in wartime coinage. Some collectors specifically look for damaged coins to show how steel pennies aged over time. In today's market, the value of a 1943 steel penny without mint mark depends heavily on condition. In extra fine condition, with minimal damage and original surface, this coin can be worth around $1 to $3, sometimes slightly more if the coin has strong eye appeal and clean surfaces without heavy spotting. Examples with very light wear and almost full detail may attract higher interest from beginner and intermediate collectors. In damaged condition, the value is lower, but the coin is still collectible. A heavily rusted or corroded 1943 steel penny without mint mark usually sells for around 20 to 75 cents, depending on how severe the damage is. Coins with peeling zinc or deep rust pits are worth less, but lightly damaged coins with partial shine and readable details still have some value, especially for educational collections and wartime sets. Many people ask why this coin is valuable when the price seems low. The answer is that value is not only about price, but also about demand, history, and popularity. The 1943 steel penny is one of the most well-known Lincoln cents ever made. Almost everyone has heard about it, and many people want to own at least one. This constant demand keeps the market active and prices stable even for common examples. It is also important to know that there are many fakes and altered coins in the market. Some copper-colored 1943 pennies are not real copper errors, but steel pennies that were plated or altered. Real steel pennies will stick to a magnet, so this is a simple test you can do at home. Always be careful and learn before buying or selling any coin. Collectors also like this coin because it tells a story of sacrifice and change during World War II. Every time you hold a 1943 steel penny, you are holding a piece of history from a time when materials were carefully controlled and everyday items were changed for the war effort. This emotional and historical connection adds to the appeal of the coin. If you find a 1943 steel penny without mint mark in extra fine condition, keep it safe. Store it in a dry place away from moisture to prevent rust. Even damaged coins should be protected because further corrosion can reduce value over time. Using simple holders can help preserve what remains of the surface. In conclusion, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny without mint mark is a classic collectible coin. Extra fine examples are valued at around $1 to $3, while damaged examples usually range from 20 to 75 cents in today's market. This coin may not make you rich, but it's one of the most important and interesting pennies ever made, and a must-have for any Lincoln cent collection. Thanks for watching, and keep checking your coins, because history can still be hiding in your pocket. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1923 without a mint mark is one of those classic United States coins that many collectors search for because it represents a calm period in American coin history after the First World War and before the great economic changes of the late 1920s. This coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark, and millions were made for everyday use. Yet finding one today in fine condition with clear details still attracts strong interest from collectors and history lovers alike. In 1923, the Lincoln wheat penny design was already well known across the country. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right, a design created by Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. His portrait is simple yet powerful, and even in fine condition you can clearly see Lincoln hair details, cheek lines, and jaw shape. The words Liberty and the date 1923 are visible and readable, though some light wear is expected in a fine-grade coin. On the reverse of the coin, the famous wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto A pluribus unum. In fine condition, the wheat ears are still bold, though some of the fine lines inside the stalks may be lightly worn. This balanced wear is what defines a fine-grade coin. It shows honest circulation while still keeping strong design clarity, which many collectors actually prefer over heavily worn pieces. The 1923 wheat penny without a mint mark is not the rarest date in the series, but its value comes from condition, originality, and collector demand. During this time, pennies were heavily used in daily transactions, so many surviving examples today are worn smooth or damaged. Coins that avoided harsh cleaning, deep scratches, or corrosion are far more desirable. A natural brown color with even wear is especially attractive in the current market. In today's market, a 1923 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition usually carries a value higher than face value by a noticeable margin. Depending on overall eye appeal, color, and surface quality, collectors commonly pay between $15 and $35 for a solid fine example. Coins with sharper details, stronger color, or exceptional originality can sometimes bring slightly higher prices, especially when demand is strong. Collectors value this coin not only for its price, but for its place in American history. It comes from an era when the penny was an important part of daily life, buying newspapers, candy, and small household items. Holding a 1923 wheat penny connects collectors to that time and to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, whose image still appears on United States coins today. Another reason this coin remains popular is that it fits well into many collections. It is an essential date for anyone building a complete Lincoln wheat set, and it is also affordable compared to key dates like 1909 SVDB or 1914D. This makes the 1923 no mint mark penny a perfect balance of history, value, and accessibility. When evaluating a fine condition example, collectors look closely at the word Liberty, the date, and Lincoln hair and coat lines. On the reverse, they check the wheat ears and lettering for clarity. Coins with smooth, even wear and no major marks are always preferred. Proper storage over the years helps preserve the coin's natural surfaces, which adds to its appeal in today's auction and private sale market. In conclusion, the most valuable Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1923 without a mint mark in fine condition is a strong and respected collectible. It offers historical importance, classic design, and steady market value. In today's market, it stands as a reminder that even common circulation coins can become meaningful and valuable treasures when preserved with care and appreciated for their story. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny with the S mint mark is one of the most interesting and talked about coins in United States coin history, and even collectors today remain fascinated by this unusual penny because it was never meant to exist in normal copper form during that year. In 1943, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and copper was a critical metal needed for weapons, ammunition, and military equipment. Because of this, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the 1-cent coin from copper to zinc-coated steel. This decision created the famous steel penny, which looks silver gray instead of the traditional brown color people were used to seeing. The San Francisco Mint struck millions of these steel pennies in 1943, and they can be identified by the small S mint mark located below the date on the front of the coin. The design still featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the wheat ears on the reverse, which is why it is called a wheat penny. Even though the design remained the same, the new steel material caused many problems. These coins rusted easily, especially when the zinc coating wore off, and they were often confused with dimes because of their silver color. A dirty condition 1943 S steel penny usually shows dark gray or blackened surfaces, rust spots, stains, and heavy wear from circulation. Dirt and corrosion are very common on these coins because steel reacts quickly to moisture and air. Many people stored them improperly in the past, which caused further damage. Even in dirty condition, these pennies are still collected because they represent a unique wartime change in American history. When evaluating the value of a 1943 S Lincoln wheat steel penny in dirty condition, collectors look at several factors. The first is authenticity, because steel pennies are magnetic and a real example will stick to a magnet. The second factor is how much original zinc coating remains. On dirty coins, most of the coating is gone and rust is visible. The third factor is wear on Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks on the back. Heavy wear lowers the value, but does not eliminate collector interest. In today's market, a genuine 1943 S Lincoln wheat steel penny in dirty, circulated condition usually sells for about $1 to $3, depending on how much rust and damage is present. If the coin has extreme corrosion, holes, or deep pitting, the value may be closer to $1. If it still has strong details but looks dark and dirty, it can reach around $2 to $3. Cleaned or polished examples do not increase value and often sell for less than naturally worn coins. Many people believe all 1943 pennies are rare and extremely valuable, but that is not true for steel examples. Millions were made. However, what makes them special is the story behind them and their unique appearance. The truly rare 1943 pennies are the copper ones made by mistake, which are worth thousands of dollars. The steel version with the S mint mark remains affordable for beginner collectors and history lovers. Collectors often keep dirty condition steel pennies as found because cleaning can actually damage the surface and reduce value. Even rust tells part of the coin's history, showing how it survived decades of circulation, handling, and storage. For YouTube viewers and new collectors, this coin is a perfect example of how historical events directly changed everyday money. The 1943 S Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny may not make someone rich, but it is still a valuable piece of American wartime history. Its value in today's market reflects both its condition and its story. Even in dirty condition, it holds steady interest and remains a must-have coin for anyone building a Lincoln cent collection or learning about rare and unusual U.S. coins. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1944 without mint mark in fine condition. This coin is special because it was made during a very important time in history when the world was coming out of the Second World War and the United States Mint was changing how pennies were produced. Collectors all over the world search for this coin because it connects history, rarity, condition, and value in a very unique way. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and these coins were made using copper that was recovered from recycled wartime materials after steel pennies were used in the previous year. This return to copper makes the 1944 penny important because it represents a shift back to normal production after wartime shortages. Many people do not realize how meaningful this change was, and that is one reason collectors respect this coin so much. The design of the coin shows Abraham Lincoln on the front with strong details visible in fine condition. You can clearly see Lincoln's facial features, his hair outline, and the shape of his coat, even though the coin has circulated. The main details are still easy to recognize. On the back, you see two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. In fine condition, the wheat lines are still visible, though slightly worn, and this balanced wear is exactly what many collectors like because it shows age without destroying beauty. What makes the 1944 wheat penny without mint mark valuable is not just its age, but also collector demand. Millions were made, but many were lost, damaged, or heavily worn over time. Finding one today in fine condition is not as easy as people think, especially with clean surfaces and natural color. Coins that avoided corrosion or heavy scratches are much harder to find, which increases their value in today's market. Another important factor is that 1944 pennies are often confused with rare error versions. Collectors always check the weight and metal because a very small number were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year. Those steel versions are extremely rare and worth very large amounts, but even the normal copper version in fine condition still holds strong value and steady demand among collectors. In today's market, a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition generally sells for several dollars, and in some cases higher depending on eye appeal, color, and overall preservation. Coins with smooth surfaces, even wear, and original tone can bring prices in the range of $5 to $20, and sometimes more when demand is strong. Prices can change based on market interest, but this coin continues to be a reliable collectible for beginners and advanced collectors. Many collectors like this coin because it is affordable yet historic. It is often used as a key example when building a complete wheat penny collection, and it fits perfectly into sets focused on wartime and post-war American coins. Its connection to history combined with steady value makes it a smart choice for long-term collecting. If you have a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition, it is important to store it properly. Keep it in a dry, safe place away from moisture and do not clean it. Cleaning can lower the value and damage the original surface, which collectors care about. Natural wear is always better than artificial shine. This coin continues to gain attention as more people become interested in classic American coins, and as older collections disappear into private hands, demand remains strong. The 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition is a perfect example of how history and value come together in one small coin, and why collectors will continue to search for it for many years to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in the next time. Happy collecting! Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny with an S mint mark is one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in United States numismatics due to its unique composition and historical significance. During World War II, copper was critically needed for the war effort, which led the United States Mint to change the composition of the 1-cent coin from the traditional bronze alloy to zinc-coated steel for the year 1943. This temporary change resulted in the creation of the steel cent, which is magnetic and has a distinct silver-gray appearance compared to the familiar copper-colored pennies. The coins were produced at 3 mints in 1943, including the San Francisco Mint, which is identified by the S mint mark. The 1943 S Lincoln steel penny in extra fine condition is particularly notable for collectors because surviving examples in this grade are scarce and highly sought after. Extra fine condition indicates that the coin exhibits only minor wear on the highest points of the design. On the obverse, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln shows sharp detail in the hair, beard, and facial features, while the lettering and date remain crisp. The reverse features the iconic wheat ears design, and in extra fine condition, the lines of the wheat stalks remain well defined with minimal flattening from circulation. The steel composition makes these coins susceptible to rust and corrosion, so coins that have retained their original steel luster without significant spotting or oxidation are exceptionally desirable. The 1943 S Lincoln steel penny has a mintage of approximately 29,800,000, which is significantly lower than the Philadelphia and Denver mintages for the same year. The lower production at the San Francisco Mint contributes to its relative rarity, especially in higher grades like extra fine. Collectors highly value coins from this mint due to the combination of limited supply and historical interest as a wartime issue. Additionally, because the coin is made of steel, it has a very different handling and appearance compared to traditional copper pennies, making it a visually striking addition to any collection. One of the key factors in determining the value of the 1943 S Lincoln steel penny is its condition. Coins in circulated condition with wear and light corrosion are moderately priced, but examples in extra fine condition command a significant premium. Market values fluctuate based on collector demand and the coin's preservation, but as of today, a 1943 Lincoln steel penny in extra fine condition typically ranges between $100 and $150. Coins with exceptional eye appeal, full original luster, and minimal spotting may sell for higher amounts in private sales or auctions. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have been carefully preserved over the decades, and the San Francisco Mint steel cents remain one of the highlights of wartime coinage collections. Collectors also pay close attention to the coin's strike quality and any signs of errors or unusual characteristics. Although the 1943 Lincoln steel penny is generally uniform in design, some coins may exhibit striking anomalies such as double dies or off-center strikes, which can further increase value. The history of the coin as part of the wartime minting effort and its distinct steel composition make it a conversation piece and a tangible link to the economic and industrial circumstances of the early 1940s. The coin represents both a historical artifact and a collectible, offering insight into the challenges faced by the mint during one of the most challenging periods in American history. In conclusion, the 1943 Lincoln steel penny in extra fine condition represents one of the most valuable and historically significant 1-cent coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Its limited mintage, wartime context, and preservation in high grade make it a highly collectible coin, with current market values typically ranging between $100 and $150. For collectors, it offers both historical insight and aesthetic appeal, making it an essential addition to any serious Lincoln cent or wartime coinage collection. The coin's steel composition, the clear depiction of Abraham Lincoln, and the well-preserved wheat reverse all contribute to its desirability and market value. This coin remains a fascinating example of numismatic history and a testament to the adaptability and resourcefulness of the mint during one of the most challenging periods in American history.